Hello everybody and welcome back to On Point HQ and part 2 of my bolt action hobby series blog vlog thing. I have not quite decided whether to call it a blog or a vlog yet, but it's part 2. So if you haven't seen part 1, I will pop a link of to that video in the description below. And essentially what I'm doing is sort of getting back into the bolt action hobby by building quite it's not a strange list, a unique list from the theatre selector from this book here, which is the US D-Day Army book from Warlord Games. And I'm actually building myself a late war US Mechanised Platoon. Now in the first part of the blog I outlined exactly what I was doing, so I'm not going to repeat myself about what the concept behind it or the list build. But that video introduced the blog or the project, and essentially what I'm doing is I'm breaking it down into 4 parts. There's going to be 1 vehicle and 4 infantry per part, which is 4 parts because it's 16 infantry and 4 vehicles. So in the last video I mentioned that I was working on the first lieutenant, the HQ team, a bazooka team, and also an M10. Now they're all finished and I've made a start on the second part. So what I thought I'd do is run through exactly what's been completed so far and what it looks like. So without any further ado, let's start on the M10. Now the M10 is completely finished. In the last video it looked something like this. So quite plain. It hadn't been based. I hadn't put all the extra bits and pieces on there, which brings me on to what it looks like. So this is the finished M10. So as you can see, it's quite different from what it looked like in the previous video. So I've added lots and lots of stowage. As you can see, all the stowage is painted. Now the stowage at the front, I had no plan to add anything like this, but I sat down one night and I was looking at reference photographs again and I saw something like this and I thought, you know what, that'd look pretty cool. So I made some stowage for the front. Now the stowage on the side, they're just from kits that I've had lying around, bits and pieces. The front, the sandbags are from the British and Commonwealth infantry box. That wheel, I think it's German, but it looks like a bit of spare armour. And the logs there, they're the willow edging that I've used quite a few times. And all I did was stick them together, put some paper around them to like straps, attached it. Now there'll be a picture on screen now of what it looked like before it was painted. So this is what it was like just after I'd applied the front stowage on the hull prior to painting. And the painting was really easy, dead basic colours, and then just some weathering pigments. Well, as you can see, and I've based it, and again, I base my vehicles, I'm going to leave it at that. But it's been weathered. We've got all the additional bits and pieces. I put the aerial on. I've put the machine gun on there. There's the crew that I talked about in the previous video, so a kit bashed crew. I'll be doing this for all of my M10s. And it's done, and lovely kit to put together. I really did enjoy it. And the other 2 M10s will be made in a similar way. So the same colour scheme, the same weathering, lots and lots of stowage. I've recently acquired some resin stowage from eBay that I've used on a vehicle that I'll show you in a second. But my M10s in this platoon are going to be festooned with stowage. But that's the M10, and I'm very, very happy with how that turned out. I'm really looking forward to getting started on the second one, which will be in the 3rd part of the project. So there we go, there's the M10. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm working on 4 infantry sort of type figures at a time. In the last video, I mentioned that I'd painted the HQ section, so the first lieutenant. It wasn't based, anything like that. So here we go. Let's get these in focus. So this is on the left here. This is the HQ section, or the HQ team, the first lieutenant and man. As you can see with the basing, I've gone for my my traditional cork, clump foliage and static grass. Sort of a generic rural sort of countryside. These guys are set in Normandy, so I thought I'd play it safe and do it that way. Really happy with the way they turned out. because in the last video I mentioned I'm using a different technique for painting these. Not everything is being drowned in Agrax. I'm using it quite carefully. So in that video I mentioned that I was also working on a bazooka team. So let's get these in focus. So that team's fully finished as well. There we go, there's the bazooka team. Again, same basing, cork, clump foliage and static grass. And I've really got, I'm really happy with the colour scheme on the uniform. It's working really quite well. Let's turn these chaps around. So, really interesting to paint. Really nice models, really nice kit. I do like the US Infantry box from Warlord Games. So that is the... one's fallen off there. That is the infantry element of the first part of the project. So we've got... crikey. First Lieutenant and the bazooka team there. So the next part of the project is going to be another vehicle and another 4 infantry, and I've actually started work on the vehicle and I've finished it. Quite possibly the quickest build I've ever made, and it's this. So this is the 2.5 ton truck. It's a Rubicon kit, my first ever Rubicon kit, and it was an interesting build. I did have some problems with the cab in trying to get the driver in, but I think that was me not being as precise as I could have been. But I got him in there, and then the rest of it went together really well. And I painted it really quickly. I think I estimated from box to adding the weathering pigments was just over 4 hours, which was something I've never really done before that quickly. Lovely kit, really nice kit to put together. It went, like I said, the cab part was probably me not being as precise as I could have been, but the rest of it went together really well. Really detailed kit, fitted together. I had no problems fitting it together. And then this morning I've added the base, added some mud and some water, and added this is the stowage that I picked up on eBay. Resin stowage, got quite a lot for about £9, because I was really struggling to find sort of 1/56 scale stowage. So I did a bit of a hunt on eBay, and that's what I came up with. But that is the transport for the entire platoon, and my first Rubicon kit. I feel like I've entered new ground by doing Rubicon. So this is the only transport in the entire platoon. Scale wise, yeah, they're a bit different to Warlord kits, as you can see from the dude sat in there. And if we just get one of these infantry, I don't know, but it's a transport vehicle, so I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. I think that's why I did it so quickly. I don't like spending time on transport vehicles, because they're transports, and this hasn't even got any weapons options, so it literally is just a transport vehicle. But they are the 2 completed vehicles in the platoon so far. Yeah, very happy with that. So that is part 2 of the blog completed. So the first part of the project is done. So the M10 and the 4 infantry, and the onto part 2 now, which is going to be this, which is already done. And then what I'm doing next is just 4 US infantry for the infantry section. So hope you find that interesting. Got any comments or questions about this or bolt action or gaming in general, just leave them down below and I'll certainly respond to all comments and questions. But as always, thanks for watching, do take care, may dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So bye bye for now.